In reselling, it's crucial to know what's selling fast right now. And one of the best ways to know what's selling fast right now is looking at sold data. So today I'm sharing what sold fast for me recently in my reselling business on Poshmark, eBay, and Mercari. So let's dive into it. Okay, so I've pulled together recent sales from this summer that sold in 7 days or less. So I'm just gonna rapid fire go through them. We've got about 33 to get through and we don't wanna be here all day, so let's do it. The first is a Cezanne blouse. This sold in 7 days. I got this at Crossroads, and with my converted cost of goods, I paid $6.12. Cezanne is definitely a brand that is still selling really, really fast. And this actually had a flaw, so it only sold for $45. If it was flawless and excellent condition, it would have sold for more, but my profit was still $29.88, so that's great. Okay, moving on to what sold in 6 days. A brand I love selling. It performs well on average, sometimes some styles better than others, of course. Mother. This is actually a style within Mother that sells especially well. It's a high-rise, wide leg style called the Ditcher. I got this on ThredUp. It sold after 6 days. I paid up for these. Actually, I got these on the RealReal. I paid up for them at $54.25. They sold again in 6 days for $115, and my profit was $37.75. I paid $54 and made a profit of $37. Let me know in the comments down below if you would be willing to do that. I am. I'm totally fine doing that. I think $37 is a great profit. I'm willing to spend more than $37 in order to make $37 for items that I feel confident are going to sell quickly. You're going to see that happen several times on this list. So let's keep going. Next is another Bolo brand to definitely know. It's one that performs best during the summer, so it might perform better now than it will in a couple months from now. But if you go through swimwear in the thrift store during the fall and winter, you're probably going to be more likely to find it because fewer people are shopping there. So pro tip, thrift the off-season section of the thrift store. Okay, Monday Swim. This is called their Barcelona tunic top. It's made out of linen, it's gauzy. It retails, I think, for like around $150, but it retains its retail value really well. And I got this, I found it in assorted brands on ThredUp. And by the way, I source a lot of things on ThredUp. If you're interested in how I do that, I'll link that video up on the screen. But I paid $19.99 and it sold on Mercari actually for $63.75 in only 6 days. And I made a profit of $31.37. Next is a brand that was completely new to me. I've never sold it before, but I will be picking it up in the future. I found it at Crossroads, and I'm gonna butcher the name. Osei Duro. You spell it O-S-E-I space D-U-R-O. I think it's sold at places like Anthropologie, but it's one of those sustainable brands that sells really well. This sold quickly after only 6 days. My converted cost of goods with my Crossroads trade-in was $6.12. If you're curious what I mean by converted cost of goods, I'll link that video up on the screen. But basically what I do is I buy things at the Goodwill outlet for really cheap, take to Crossroads, trade it in for a credit, and then buy inventory that way. These sold really fast for $72, and I made a profit of $51.48. So yeah, very happy with that. The last item on this list that sold for 6 days is a brand that is selling really well still, Viore. This is probably the top performing athletic wear brand. This was a pair of men's ripstop joggers that I got at the bins actually, or the Goodwill outlet. I only paid 86 cents for these. They sold after 6 days on eBay for $35.99. I think they did have some fading, which is why I priced them a little lower, but it's fine. It means they moved quickly. And so my profit was $29.88. I have mentioned in other videos that I have veered away from formal wear in the sense of bridesmaids and wedding gowns. I really don't like picking that up anymore. But one category I do love picking up and selling is mother of the bride dresses. They tend to sell really well, actually sell fairly quickly if you price them right and you get the right brands and you get the right styles. Oh, and size. You kind of want a larger size. You kind of want something that, you know, your mom or your grandma would wear to a very formal wedding. So when I saw this dress on ThredUp, I decided to just go ahead and pick it up even though it was expensive. I knew my profit margin would be kind of slim, but it sold quickly and I'm happy about it. This is La Femme. It is a T-length dress. It was a size 12, which is a great size, and it sold after only 5 days. Honestly, I think I could have got more for it if I had waited, but I'm not in the habit of waiting for sales. I like to accept offers. That's one thing that I've definitely changed about my business model. And so when I received an offer for 85, I think I had it listed for 120. I just went ahead and accepted it. And I did pay up for it. I paid $55.99 on ThredUp. So it only gave me a profit of $17.42. But again, after only 5 days, it was really easy to list. I would do it again. Maybe I would shoot for like $90 to $100, but I would do this sale over and over again, and I'll probably continue to source La Femme, Mother of the Bride themed dresses. Okay, next is one of my favorite menswear brands to find and sell. This is on my men's Bolo brand list, which you can access for free. All these resources that I'm mentioning are free on my website, MOGIBETH.com, which I'm excitedly in the process of rebranding, so stay tuned for that. But for now, you can still access it. It's a 50 menswear Bolo brand list, and Alex Crane is on that list. I love Alex Crane. This is a pair of bow pants that I actually got on ThredUp, and it was within assorted brands, so I got it for really cheap at $11.49. Sold after only 5 days. They sold for $75, which gave me a profit of $53.38. But again, if you've never heard of Alex Crane, it's one to know. Put that in your brain, because you can also come across it in the women's section too. They do sell women's clothing. I don't know how well Alex Crane women's wear performs, but I have found menswear Alex Crane in the women's section before. Next is another brand that still sells really, really well, Arc'teryx. This was a pair of size 0 hiking pants. I was kind of worried because it was a size 0. I was like, is this still going to sell well? Still did. I found it at Goodwill for $9.99. Sold after only 5 days for $48. So my gross profit was $33.21. Another menswear brand, Todd Snyder. Not everything by Todd Snyder is going to sell fast, but this pair of Todd Snyder shorts did perform well. I found these at Goodwill for $6.99. They sold after only 5 days. They sold for $40, which gave me a gross profit of $28.43. All right, next is another brand I never sold before, but I found it at Crossroads and decided to try it out. I believe it's a Portland-based brand, Marty Jean. Performed really well. I definitely couldn't find stock photos for this or anything like that, but didn't hurt the performance of the item. It sold after only 5 days, and it sold for $45. My cost of goods was $5.27, and so I profited $30.73. Great. I would do that again for sure. Okay, this brand comes up on the list twice, and it is also within my men's 50 Bolo brand list, and one that I actually was not picking up before doing research for that list, and it's 316. I was so excited to find these at Goodwill after the other pair that is also on this list sold overnight. But this is a pair of black pants, and they sold after only 4 days. I listed them for $100 and received an offer for $69.99 over on eBay, which I accepted. Since I only paid $10 for them at Goodwill, my gross profit was $50.18, which is great. Okay, this sale I am so excited about. I am starting to take some bigger swings with my ThredUp purchases, meaning I'm willing to pay up more for items that I think are going to have a higher average sales price and hopefully sell quickly. Whenever you make a purchase for inventory, it is a gamble, and so I'm trying to be highly selective, but I did definitely take a risk with this one, and it did pay off. It is a new tag Veronica Beard Adelaide jacket. It sold after only 4 days. I paid $181.99 for this, and it sold full price for $385 over on Poshmark after only 4 days. Again, really fast, and it gave me a profit of $126.01. Thrilled about that. I love having $100 plus profit on an item. I don't care that I paid $180 to make $126. In fact, if I could guarantee that that would work out, I do it over and over and over again. I was very trepidatious listing that, and I was very nervous that it was a big mistake because $182 is a lot to put into one item, but it paid off. Okay, another brand that sold really fast, and I wanted to definitely make sure to include it on the list because the brand tag has changed for this brand, is Nation Limited Ltd. And again, the brand tag looks different, so it's easy to miss if you come across it at Crossroads or Goodwill or wherever. But a lot of styles by this brand sell really, really fast. So this was just a sheared satin tank. I think I could have got more for this for sure, but I just wanted to accept offers like I was saying. It sold after only 3 days. I paid $18.99 for it on ThredUp. It was actually within assorted brands, and I accepted an offer for $40. I think it listed for like $65 or something. And they gave me a profit of about $13, which isn't ideal, but again, happy about the quick sale and could have made more maybe, but not complaining. Next on the list is Rothy's. I know a lot of people are saying Rothy's are dead, and I have listed actually a couple other Rothy's that haven't sold yet. Just listed them though. But these sold quickly. I think it's because I listed them so low. They did have some wear on them because I got them at the bins. They were the Rothy's point flat. I paid only $1.32 for them. They sold after 3 days on eBay for $30.39. So I made a profit of $23.70, which is great. If you price Rothy's right, I think they can still sell quickly. Okay, this might have also been in that video. I'll link that Ship With Me video up on the screen in case you want to watch it. It is a new Tag Athleta puffer down jacket. The fact that this sold in the middle of summer means yes, you should be listing your winter inventory all year round. Same with your summer inventory. My cost of goods on this Athleta puffer down jacket was $3.12 because I got it at Crossroads, and so that's a converted cost of goods. And it sold for $59 after only 3 days, and my profit was $44.08. So great. Definitely being more selective with Athleta, but the right pieces can definitely do really well. I took a risk picking this pair of jeans up. I have never sold jeans by this brand, John Elliott. Do you guys know John Elliott? I've found it at Goodwill before and it's performed pretty well, but this performed great. I picked up these pair of men's John Elliott jeans at Crossroads, and again, my cost of goods was only $3.12, and again, they sold after only 3 days. These sold for $70 over on eBay, and my profit was $56.33. So I would definitely pick up John Elliott denim again. I'll probably just continue to pick up John Elliott in general from now on, especially if my cost of goods is manageable. The next 2 sales, I think these were both in my Ship With Me video, but they are ones that sold really quickly, and they're both from my personal closet. So the first is this Free People We The Free Summer Daydream button-down top. This particular style by Free People tends to perform well. I think I've sold it 2 or 3 times, and every time I've listed it, it performs well. I sold it for $32 in 2 days. I think it would have sold for more, but I think it was when I was running that birthday sale, and so my profit was $25.60. Same with this one. This is Free People Beach, and I think Free People Beach has like gone down in demand since last summer at least, but still appears to be performing well. Sold in 2 days for $35, which gave me a profit of $28. Another brand that I don't have a ton of experience selling, but I've had really good experience when I do sell it, is Cotopaxi. This is like a colorful outdoor hiking brand, kind of similar to Patagonia. I found this pair of shorts and they were in like new condition at Goodwill. I paid $6.99 for them. Again, they sold after only 1 day, and they sold for $28 and gave me a profit of $15.41. Another Goodwill find is this high neck plaid midi dress. Is velvet, really cute. It was still for sale on Bowden's website, so it was like new when I found it at Goodwill, and I only paid $9.99 for it, which is great. The new Bowden tag, I'm really trying to only sell that one. It's got this thick sans serif font, unlike their older ones, which is like a cursive font. It sold for $50 overnight, and I made a profit of about $30. So love that. Want to do it again and again and again. Now we are in the territory of items that sold literally within hours, if not minutes of me listing. These are the items that sold this very same day. First is actually pitiful in terms of my profit, but I wanted to include it on here because to just illustrate a point that this is selling quickly, and I just probably paid too much for it and accepted a lower offer, but that's not always the case. So this is Anthropologie plus size. Again, I think this might have been in the Thrift With Me video that I published most recently. This was Anthropologie A+. It was a cardigan, a ribbed cardigan. I paid $12.99 for it at Goodwill, and I accepted an offer for $30 over on eBay, which gave me a profit of $8.45. Nothing to write home about, but again, sold same day, and if I had found it for cheaper, then it would have definitely given me a good profit. And I love finding Anthropologie plus size, and it just tends to perform really well and sell really quickly. Next is again the brand that I mentioned earlier, 316. This was a pair of denim cinch jeans. 316 is actually really known for their denim, so if you find it, it's going to perform well typically. This sold literally the same day that I listed it, and it sold for $100 full price within hours, if not minutes. Maybe I priced it too low. That's okay. I'm okay with that. And gave me a gross profit of $75.17. So really, really, really happy with the performance of that item. This is a brand that you should definitely know because I do come across it at Goodwill, and it's one of those brands that just sells super quickly. The brand is Wool, and it's a brand similar to Icebreaker or Smart Wool in that they specialize in wool pieces. I've sold dresses by them. This is a pair of leggings that I found at Goodwill for $9.99. In fact, I featured it in a Thrift With Me Instagram reel. If you're not following me on Instagram, go over. It's MOGIBETH, and I post content over there as well. Sold same day. I had it listed for $90, and it sold to an offer to liker, sent automatically for $72, and gave me a profit of $47.61. So definitely one to be on the lookout for. Next is a Aloe Yoga workout set. This is actually from my personal collection, but the performance of this item made me think, okay, I need to definitely be picking up workout sets because this performed really, really well. And at Crossroads, at least in my area, they do have like a special section for workout sets. So I'm just gonna make sure to go through that more often. But this was really cute. I mean, if I do say so myself, it came from my own personal closet. It's like a hot pink one, and it sold actually within minutes for $70 and gave me a profit of $56. So happy about that sale. We'll definitely be on the lookout for workout sets, Aloe Yoga, or other, higher end athletic wear brands in the future. Next is a brand I didn't know about, but definitely will be looking out for in the future. Enfant Riche. I think this is a higher end brand. I actually got this through liquidation, but then had it sitting in my own personal closet for a long time. Barely ever wore it. So I was like, oh, when I was cleaning out my closet, I just pulled it. My cost of goods was $39.15 because again, I got it through liquidation with a really expensive palette. And so, but I just didn't know that it was worth this much. If I had known that, I would have sold it a long time ago. It sold within minutes for $200. It's a t-shirt. It's a graphic t-shirt. So you should know about this brand. I should have known about this brand. Enfant Riche. If you come across a graphic t-shirt, buy it, pick it up, and it can perform really, really well. I had a profit of $133.36. Even with my $40 cost of goods, it was worth paying that and more. Okay, two more. This is Frank and Eileen. Love selling Frank and Eileen. I am just constantly wishing for Frank and Eileen when I'm going through things at the thrift store, especially in the button-down section. But this is a denim button-down. I got this actually at Crossroads, sold same day. My converted cost of goods was $7.06, and it sold for $119. Love that. Profit was $88.14. Wish I could do that all day long, and I'm gonna keep trying to. And then the last on this list is a Nuitag Spanx jumpsuit. This was actually in a Thrift With Me, not my most recent one, but I think one before that. I paid up for this jumpsuit. I paid $24.99, and it sold same day on Mercari actually for about $85, which gave me a profit of $41.51. So definitely, I know Goodwill is marking certain things up, but that doesn't necessarily rule it out from me picking it up. Even if they price it up to $25, if it's gonna sell for $85, then it's worth paying up for. And I did, and it paid off. So I love making these types of videos. I've done them before, but it's a really good exercise for me to narrow my focus when I'm outsourcing. Let me know in the comments down below if this has been helpful for you, if you learned any new brands, if there are any brands that surprised you on how quickly they sold within your reselling business. If you'd be so generous to let us know in the comments down below. It can also be a resource for all of us to learn from one another. I love that about this community. But anyways, thanks so much for watching. I'll see you on the next one. Okay, love y'all. Bye. Oh, and again, if you haven't yet, if you watch this channel and you like it and you haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe button. It really helps us out. Okay, thanks so much.